Good morning, YouTube. How are we doing this morning? It's a bright and early Monday morning. So, a couple of things I thought I would go over. I watched a video this weekend that kind of surprised me. Somebody who I've been following on YouTube for a while now. Seems to be a great guy. Thought he was pro 2A, and I'm finding out maybe not so much. Oops, sorry there, I turned my truck off. He seemed to make all the liberal talking points, and regardless of about how you feel about the Second Amendment or how you feel about firearms in general, I think you have to make sure that when you're making an argument that you study the facts of the argument. He seems to know his firearms, but the issue here is one of the main points he made was that our military is volunteer. And he's correct. And that our military would, they're civilians. They would never go against the civilian population, blah, blah, blah. And I'm pretty confident that that's a accurate statement. My issue is that can change. All it would take is an act of Congress to change that, and a president willing to sign it. So to act like there's nothing to be afraid of solely based on the fact that the military is a volunteer force is kind of naive. Especially given the climate of which we've been living in for a while now, where it seems like more and more government officials are getting away with things that would cause our forefathers to turn over in their graves. So it kind of befuddled me a little bit about the whole him coming out against firearms, or at least assault weapons, which that isn't really a legal term. It's basically a term created by liberals to describe scary guns. And I think that when you look at history as in general, are there countries that don't have guns that are, quote unquote, not oppressed? To an extent. A lot of people like to use the Europe and Australia as an example, or England and Australia as an example, or UK, whatever. The issue with the UK and Australia is they're an island, and both of them are islands or small continents. They're not surrounded by countries like Mexico, where there is a history of drugs and guns pouring across the border into the U.S. for decades, and they have not been able to stop it. So using the UK and Australia narrative doesn't make much sense, because I haven't seen any proof that our government can keep illegal firearms from coming across the border, south of the border. They can't keep drugs from coming across. by their own admission, only catch about 10 to 20%, they figure, of the drugs pouring across the U.S. border. So put that into perspective. Now, the marijuana trade has went down because of the fact that the U.S. has, in many states, legalized marijuana. And so now these cartels are looking for ways to make money. How do you think they're going to replace that if guns become illegal, or assault rifles become illegal? They're just going to start trading guns and start pushing guns across the border. So it makes no sense to use the Australia and UK narrative, because they're surrounded by water. Their ports are, they have control. They have control of their borders. They also don't seem to have as much of a drug problem there. All of the drugs that are in Australia, and from what I can tell, the UK, have come from within. They're made within the country. So to say that the U.S. could be just like them, it's just not factual. It's not feasibly possible. And I'm sorry, if we can't keep guns and drugs out of the hands of criminals and keep them from pouring across the borders, there's no way in hell I'm giving up my right to and ability to protect myself, because all you do at that point is create a whole country full of targets. It becomes a target-rich environment because these gangbangers and thugs and drug cartels and gun cartels now know that we have a whole country full of unarmed population, or very minimally armed population. So I don't think his arguments hold water in that sense. And we also found out this weekend that 4 police officers stood outside the school while the school was being shot up and didn't do a dang thing about it. I'm sorry. I don't care if they're my kids, your kids, Bill's kids. I don't care whose kids they are. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian. It don't matter. If I'm hearing shots going off and kids screaming, I'm in that school. I am doing my best. They had teachers in there shielding their kids, and officers with bulletproof vests and handguns stood outside cowardly. Pathetic. And all you guys who say, oh, well, cops should be the only ones with firearms. One, it has been shown and proven that that's not a very good scenario, just in this case. But also in places where it could take 5 minutes to 10 minutes for an officer to get there. What are you going to do? Try and stall your attacker? Yeah, give me a break. On top of that, the Supreme Court said that police officers have no duty to protect you. Police officers have no duty to protect you. So think about that. If they don't have the duty to protect you, who does? Oh yeah, that's you. Your self-protection, self-preservation is up to you. It's just like your health care is up to you. It's just like your dental care, eye care is up to you. Your security, your existence belongs to you as an individual human being. You cannot rely on somebody else to protect you. So given all of those things, I just wanted to make this video, let you all stew on that a little bit, see what your thoughts are. Please like, share, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And for now, you all stay happy, and we'll see you in the next video.